What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. I have a story for you and I want you guys to help me kind of dissect this, I guess. I don't think I did anything wrong here, but this guy that I was talking to on a dating app had such a reactive response, such a seemingly like visceral response that I was like, did I do something wrong here? So I'm gonna tell you this story, dating app story from Bumble, and I wanna hear what you think. So this past week, I connected with this guy on Bumble. If I had a penny for every time I said that, right? But he seemed great, like refreshingly different, distinct, unique, smart guy, speaks 5 languages, polyglot. For me, that's very attractive because speaking several languages by choice is a sign of intellectual curiosity, a sign of discipline, right? A desire to learn. All of that for me is very attractive. So we're talking back and forth. I'm learning about him, he's learning about me. And at one point I finally kind of say the cheeky thing of like, oh, well, we can talk more about this on our first date. And he was like, I would love to go on a date with you, but right now I'm traveling and I also have a skin rash. My first thought was, is this a herpes outbreak? Is this a politically correct way of saying a herpes outbreak? Like, what do you mean a skin rash? But anyway, I kept that to myself, obviously. And I'm not gonna judge him, like it's a little bit maybe TMI, but whatever. So I responded to him saying, oh, sorry to hear that. Let me know when you're back in town and feeling 100%, which is my way of like putting the ball in his court so that when he's ready and available, we can meet. Because my whole thing with these apps is like, I don't wanna keep doing the back and forth forever. If you present some kind of barrier, even if it's a completely legitimate situation, like you're traveling, you're sick, whatever, you're really busy with work, all of that is fine, but I then don't want to spend too much time continuing to talk when I haven't met you. So that was my way of being like, okay, you let me know when you're ready and we'll take it from there. In the meantime, after sending this message, he follows me on Instagram because my Instagram is connected to my Bumble, or it's like somewhere on my profile. I don't know about you guys. I'm kind of old school with this stuff. Like if I don't really know you, I don't want to follow you on Instagram. Like I don't want to connect with you on Instagram if we're not actually a part of each other's lives. So it's fine for him to follow me, but I didn't feel an obligation to follow him back because I don't even know you. We haven't met yet. Now, don't get me wrong. If he asked for my number, I would have given it to him because to me, that's a sign of like, you're setting an intention, right? Like that would be probably the logical next step before meeting would be getting off of Bumble and having each other's phone numbers, right? Totally fine that he followed me, but I didn't follow him back. I kind of pretended I didn't notice. So he responds to me on Bumble and goes, oh, by the way, I just followed you on Instagram and I'm pretty sure I'll be fine by this weekend. Like I'll be better with his skin rash. No, I'm just kidding. His skin rash. I was having a busy work day, a stressful work week actually. I see this message and I just went, oh, haha, okay, keep me posted. I didn't address the Instagram thing because frankly, I didn't think it was a big deal. Like, again, I don't feel an obligation to follow somebody back or to mention like, oh yeah, I noticed. Like, it just wasn't a big deal to me. For me, the next step is now just meeting you in person. Like, if we're not doing that, if we don't have a clear plan for that, I don't really think anything else seems significant. So the next time I open the app after that, he unmatched me on Bumble. And then I go to Instagram and I notice he unfollowed me. So I'm like, oh boy. Honestly, you guys, I really wanted to meet him. Like I was looking for, I had no doubt like we're gonna meet, we're gonna have a date and we'll go from there. So I remembered his first name. So I typed it into Instagram. His Instagram comes up and I DM'd him. Of course, respectfully, politely, friendly, all that stuff. But I was like, listen, I don't know what happened here, but for the record, I actually really wanted to meet you. I just didn't want to connect on Instagram beforehand because that happens with other guys and then you never end up meeting them. I was more so set on meeting you in person. Like that was more my priority. That's why I said, keep me posted. You guys, he responded and he sent me like an essay on Instagram and it was I read it as passive aggressive. He basically was like, yeah, I unmatched you because you did not acknowledge that I followed you on Instagram. You just ignored that comment. And to me, that was like a mind game. I'm tired of playing games. I'm not a basic bitch in Miami. He used that phrase. He used the word bitch. I need to be treated a certain way, blah, blah, blah. So I was kind of shocked reading this. A, because he seemed to really have this like borderline vitriol. Like he seemed really pissed about this whole situation, and I'm like, I didn't think it was that big of a deal to say to somebody, haha, okay, keep me posted, and to not address the Instagram follow thing. Like, I guess we live in an era now where people maybe see connecting on social media the same way some people see exchanging phone numbers, meaning like, I guess I would be a little bit like irked if I said, hey, do you want to hop off and exchange phone numbers? Or like, can I have your phone number? If the person didn't respond to that, I'd be a little bit, I don't even know that I'd be irked, honestly. I just think like, that's kind of weird that they didn't address that. But my first thought wouldn't be, this person is playing mind games. F them, I'm gonna unmatch immediately. So for me, the irony here is that he seemed to be expressing that he didn't like that I didn't communicate effectively, particularly about this Instagram thing, that I didn't address it or even just acknowledge like, hey, here's why I don't want to do that or whatever. But my whole thing is, that seems like poor communication skills to me, to jump to conclusions to the point where you're like, I'm cutting this off now with this person. So I find it ironic that somebody who speaks so many languages could not have the basic communication skills, or even basic, like, what's the word, empathy maybe, to be like, let me ask the person this just so I don't assume the worst. So I responded to him respectfully, and I was like, thank you for letting me know. It sounds like we both maybe projected previous disappointments we've had on this situation. So we both were coming to this expecting a certain kind of response. But I really did want to meet you, and I'm sorry, and I wish you the best of luck on and off this app in Miami. And he liked the comment. I told a friend this story, and they were like, oh, just wait, he might circle back and realize that he was a bit aggressive and intense. And I was like, but that's not really the point. I wouldn't want to attract somebody who comes from a place of defensiveness like that, where they assume that somebody's playing a mind game because they don't want to connect on Instagram or don't address that. Like, shouldn't the priority really be to meet in person? Like, shouldn't dating just be fun and casual and lighthearted? All of this tension is a lot before you've met somebody, right? So I was telling my friend, like, no, even if he did circle back, realizing that he maybe went overboard, like, that's a sign for me of somebody who has really poor communication skills. Which is ironic because he speaks so many languages, right? Am I crazy for this, you guys? Did I respond too casually or too tersely? Or is this person clearly kind of projecting something that actually has nothing to do with me? Let me know in the comments. I'm very curious for your feedback.